Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome into Duval Daily presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for tuning in Monday, September 8th, and we have breaking Jacksonville Jaguars news. Tank Bigsby, Jaguars running back, third-round pick back in 2023, has been traded from the Jacksonville Jaguars according to Adam Schefter, according to multiple league sources. The Jaguars are sending running back Tank Bigsby to the Philadelphia Eagles, second trade between the Jags and the Eagles in recent weeks, in exchange for 2026 fifth and sixth round picks. So Tank Bigsby being moved by the Jacksonville Jaguars for 2 late round picks in the 2026 NFL draft. We are going to dive into this trade, talk about it here this evening. I know this will rub some folks the wrong way, I think. It's going to be an interesting one to talk about. I really appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate you tuning in, supporting the channel. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. You can also check out genjag.com/shop. Pick up some new Duval gear like the hat I am wearing right now. Help support the channel. Look good while doing it. Now, Tank Bigsby. This is breaking news, so I don't have an outline or anything like that prepared for this one. This is, in a way, very surprising. Also, if you had told me that the Jaguars were going to move one of their running backs, that would not have shocked me. Why? They drafted 2 running backs this year, right? I mean, you draft a running back in the 4th round and then a running back in the 7th round, and then they come in. They both handle themselves like professionals. I'm not just talking about in the game yesterday. I'm talking about throughout the offseason, throughout the offseason program, training camp. Bashal Tutin and LeQuint Allen come in and they handle themselves like professionals even though they're rookies. And then Travis Etienne is handling himself like a professional as well, and so is Tank Bigsby. You've got 4 running backs, 4 good running backs. And so, yeah, it's not surprising to see one of them get moved, and I know that the hot idea was to potentially trade Travis Etienne. All offseason, everyone was talking about the Jaguars potentially trading Travis Etienne. I didn't think that made sense for a variety of reasons. The reason people were kind of saying that was Etienne coming off a down year. Etienne, final year of his rookie contract. So, if you're going to not re-sign him, it makes sense to, potentially trade him. But I always was of the opinion that Travis Etienne's skill set as a dangerous space player and someone who has shown they can be a lead back in this league in decent circumstances when he has confidence and a decent offensive line and all these things working for him. I thought that he made more sense for this Jaguars team because he had more versatility and more home run speed. And I think that the way he really attacked this offseason, and again, no shade at Tank, just made him a little bit more valuable to this team because he has more speed, more explosiveness, more bend, and just big playability. And then also the fact that he hasn't had fumbling issues recently. He has better overall ball security as a runner and as a pass catcher. And really, I think that he's not more physical, certainly, than Tank, right? But probably a little bit more consistent in pass pro. You can just use him in more ways. So I think that that's what it comes down to between the 2 veteran backs, right? Etienne just has a more explosive, balanced skill set overall than Tank Bigsby did. And maybe it was also just, maybe there was more interest in Tank Bigsby. We don't know what type of interest Travis Etienne had. You would think after the game he had yesterday, there'd be plenty of interest around the league. But, yeah, Tank Bigsby, man, a player I've always really liked, right? Coming out of Auburn, I was a big fan of his. That was a draft class where, everybody was kind of like, why the heck are you taking Brenton Strange and Tank Bigsby in the second and third round when you have Evan Ingram and uh, and Travis Etienne? And so, yeah, Trent Baalke, strange team building, but two good players, two talented players. And now Tank Bigsby will head to Philly to fill a role for them, and be a backup, right? Obviously not going to be a starter in Philly. They got Saquon Barkley, the guy who, in my opinion, should have been the MVP. But he can be a really good backup, a really good short yardage back. I don't think they're bringing him in by any stretch of the imagination to be a third down back, but kind of like a hammer, probably somebody who can be a really good 1-2 punch. And, fifth and sixth round pick for a running back is really, it's not nothing. Running backs, they're devalued in this league unless they are players like Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry. Some of the really elite backs in the league kind of do make a lot of money, but outside of that, you don't see these huge deals really. And you also don't usually see backs drafted super highly unless they're like a Bijan Robinson and Ashton Genty level talent, right? Like these types of guys, Saquon Barkley. So yeah, running back is devalued, and the Jaguars had an opportunity here to get more draft capital for 2026, which is meaningful for a variety of reasons. I mean, it's always meaningful to have multiple extra draft picks, not necessarily just to utilize them, but to use them as capital for trades during the draft. That's even more of a important piece, I think, for 2026 for the Jaguars because of the trade they made this year to acquire Travis Hunter, right? So there's a lot that goes into it, and we're going to continue talking about this Tank Bigsby trade. But I do want to remind you all about Underdog Fantasy, and it's the best user experience, the best, in my opinion, user interface out there. Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. You already know what I was looking at for Monday Night Football, looking at Caleb Williams going higher on yards, looking at Aaron Jones, looking at the rookie tight end as well for the Chicago Bears, Colston Loveland. So check it out. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code DuvalDaily to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code DuvalDaily. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona and Massachusetts and Virginia, and present at state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. So continuing on here, talking about this Tank Bigsby trade, maybe you thought now that the season had started, they were just going to roll with the four backs, and they did have all four of them active yesterday, and all four of them had a role. I would say, Tank Bigsby, he had 5 carries yesterday, and he did pick up a critical short yardage run for them where he ran hard, he ran tough, got in there and kind of like shot out of a cannon at the line of scrimmage and just powered forward. He was their least effective back. 5 carries for 12 yards yesterday, but I don't think that he really looked ineffective. It was just when he was in the game, I think they keyed in on the run a little bit more. And that's not surprising because, again, as we talked about, I don't think that he has the same versatility in his skill set as a Travis Etienne, who, by the way, had 16 carries for 143 yards, 8.9 yards per carry yesterday for Travis Etienne. And not to tootin' my own horn too much. Shout out Jordan Rodriguez making that joke earlier today on the NFL Daily Show. But I said that I think Tank Bigsby makes more sense to trade than Travis Etienne. When all this scuttlebutt was going on all offseason about Travis Etienne potentially getting traded, I thought Tank Bigsby made more sense because of the skill set, right? Because of the fumbling issues, because of the inability to be effective in pass pro and as a pass catcher. And I think that when Tank Bigsby is in the game, the Jaguars lack that multi-dimensional threat, and defenses can just key in on it because they know they don't want to throw the ball to Tank Bigsby. Defenses know they don't want Tank Bigsby in pass protection. So what are you doing with Tank Bigsby on the field? You're probably running the ball. However, when Travis Etienne is on the field, all options are open. And that takes us to the two rookie running backs as well. When Bashal Tutin is on the field, all options are open. He is a very good pass catcher. He has incredible speed and quickness and vision. I think that he is sufficient in pass protection. And then you have LeQuint Allen, who is truly dynamite as a pass protector and a pass catcher out of the backfield. He only had one carry yesterday for 7 yards, but LeQuint Allen had multiple pass pro reps where he did a good job. He also had a big catch where he made a guy miss and picked up a first down. So this is the group they're moving forward with. And this is not to say that Travis Etienne is about to be some mainstay in Jacksonville. I don't know the future. My best guess would be that the Jaguars are not going to prioritize signing Travis Etienne after the year because of having Bashal Tutin and because of having LeQuint Allen. I think that those are two guys you can potentially just rely on as your 1-2 punch following the 2025 season. And when you go from Etienne to Tutin, I don't think you're losing a whole lot in any department, really. I think that he has the potential to be better than Travis Etienne. But right now, Travis Etienne is the lead back for the Jaguars, and I think that's a very good thing. I was steadfast all offseason, and, maybe they do trade him. Who knows? But I did not want them to trade Travis Etienne. I thought that they were a better team with him in the fold, and this is a team that's not like in a situation where they are like in this rebuilding mode and they don't really need to have the best guys available right now. No, this is a team that wants to make the playoffs, that wants to win their division right now in 2025 and let the chips fall where they may down the stretch. They want to be as good as they can be. Does losing Tank Bigsby really diminish the room all that much? Now that you've seen Bashal Tutin and LeQuint Allen in game action, and you've seen Travis Etienne in this offense, I don't think it does, but it does set up next year's draft. They have a lot of ammunition now to potentially move back up into the first round if they want to have more higher value day 2 picks in the draft if they want to. They have a lot of versatility with some of the moves they have made, just trading with the Eagles. And for example, I think they now have 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks from the Philadelphia Eagles next year. And so they are better set up with the long-term vision in mind, trading Bigsby. And I just don't really think they're losing a whole lot. And that's no slight on Tank, who I do think adds something to an NFL offense as a runner. But when you have the guys the Jaguars have, I just don't think he was really bringing much outside of being able to key the defense in on what you're probably trying to do here on this down when he's on the field. That's the harsh reality of it. I thought that he showed throughout his Auburn career some ability as a pass catcher. I thought he improved in terms of his ball security throughout his collegiate career. Unfortunately, those improvements did not manifest all that much in the NFL, and he couldn't pass protect either very well. So he's moving on to Philly. Great landing spot for him. Excited for him to potentially be that number 2 back behind Saquon Barkley. And, I don't think Philly is really worried about what their opponents think they're doing, because they're just that dominant up front on the offensive line. And, you have Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley in the backfield together. You have Jalen Hurts and then Tank Bigsby in the backfield together. That's a little bit of a nightmare to deal with. And maybe he can do a better job ball security, catching the ball in Philly than he's done in Jacksonville. We'll see. I'm certainly wishing him the best. I've always had a lot of fun with Tank being on the team, being able to send out the memes, send in the Tank, all the good stuff. So it stinks to see him go, but overall for me, I just don't think that the Jaguars objectively are losing a whole lot. And they are gaining a good amount of draft ammunition, draft capital to have more versatility and more utility to move up and down the board in 2026, which I think will be valuable. And you've seen already, at least it appears, you've seen James Gladstone be able to find success late in the draft. I mean, Jonah Monheim is someone they're very excited about. Lee Quint Allen is one of the reasons that Tank Bigsby is no longer a Jacksonville Jaguar, 7th round pick. So you've seen that, and you've seen that with the Rams, where Gladstone comes from for a long time, their ability to hit on these later round picks and kind of not transcend the draft, but really do a better job than most teams with the late round picks. So here is an update from Mike Garafolo. The Eagles' trade for Tank Bigsby is in part due to a need for another kick returner, sources say. He will be in the mix for that role with Will Shipley, who had one return against the Cowboys, who is dealing with a rib injury. So Tank as a returner can help the Eagles out potentially. I personally don't think you're trading a 5th and a 6th round pick for a returner specifically. If he can help you in that regard and also be a runner that you can rely on, I think that can help Philly. But happy trails to Tank Bigsby, who I think was a good teammate, somebody who was fun to have around the locker room, fun to have on the practice field, fun to watch play in a lot of regards. But when you've got 2 rooks coming in that are doing a really good job, Travis Etienne having a great offseason and that carrying into the regular season, I can completely understand why the Jaguars have decided to go in this direction. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good night.